So I am probably going to guess and say right now that it's most likely not going to be all that surprising. I have been going back in and playing older games and messing around with them and stuff. And one of the games, guys, I have never gotten to play back in the day is going to be Gran Turismo 5. As y'all know, I did end up playing Gran Turismo 7, which personally I really did enjoy it and still do. It is going to be a very fun game. But with that, I was like, you know what? I need to go back in and try Gran Turismo 5. Now, this is going to be original footage from the PlayStation 3. For some odd reason, I did end up getting the XL edition, which apparently is rare. The only unfortunate part is we all do know on the PS3s, a lot of the times we do get like a DLC with the game, it was normally going to be a code, which the code is going to be expired, so I can't even use it, which is kind of unfortunate. But a few things I really did like about this game. For one, guys, we are going to have go-karts, which is, yes, going to be in Gran Turismo 7. But I really did enjoy them, as I really haven't used them that much in Gran Turismo 7, so I was using them in 5, and I was like, yo, these are going to be very fun. I feel like people would actually like them. You obviously can't be braking that much. You'll slide into something or you'll have issues with the vehicle and all that. So one thing I basically did end up doing is kind of just slowing down with the throttle gradually and stuff like that. And we're also then going to have the cockpit view as well, which I'm sure many people are not too surprised about that. I would say the overall detail. Now, one thing that's funny to me is I did not even realize Gran Turismo 5 came out in 2010, which is kind of insane, guys. This game is going to be almost 15 years old. I did not even realize it was that old, but obviously I never played it, so kind of just blew past me in that matter. But either way, though, when you are starting off in this game, it is obviously going to be on the slower side because you're not going to have a bunch of vehicles. One thing I was kind of in tune with, or I guess you could say accustomed to in Gran Turismo 7, was the fact that I played my first Gran Turismo. So I basically got in the game with like 40 cars or something like that, or 30 different vehicles. So that kind of gave me a big boost. I was able to fly through the campaign and stuff and kind of get through the game a lot faster. Here in Gran Turismo 5, though, I'm definitely feeling a sense of progression, or at least trying to get into the game and, win races and stuff like that and get better at it. Kind of driving very slow vehicles and then realizing how bad some of them actually are. Then going into like doing the licensing tests and unlocking of different things and different cars and stuff like that on top of it. Which, one thing I gotta admit, guys, I do feel like the licensing testing on Gran Turismo 5 is definitely not the easiest thing to do out there. I'm probably going to have to practice a bit, most likely play the game a tad more to try to do better on some of them, as I was kind of failing some of them. But then again, though, I would say this game is different. I am using a PS3 controller, so, the inputs and all that is probably different than a, PS5 controller. Either way, though, playing Gran Turismo 5 for me, man, you know what's funny? Some of the biggest things I liked about this game is probably going to be some of the most shocking. Number one is going to be the fact that we're going to have real NASCARs in this game. Honestly, I was a bit surprised at that when I was looking at the video clip of this game, or like the intro of it. I was like, wait a second, that's going to be an actual NASCAR, and then boom, when I did end up progressing in the game a bit, you were able to drive them. Also, funny part is, guys, Jeff Gordon in this game is looking, pretty interesting. I gotta admit that. Like, when I first saw his face, I was like, what? Then again, I was like, all right, well, hold on. This game's from 2010. Like, we all do know all the facial expressions back then, and some games probably did end up failing in some ways with that. But either way, guys, I had a really good time using the NASCARs in this game. One thing it brought me right back to, does anybody else remember playing a game called NASCAR Thunder? I think it was. I think it was like '03 or '04. It was obviously going to be very old, but I played that game a lot. In fact, back in the day, I'm not even going to lie, I was playing a lot of NASCAR type of games back then. I really did enjoy them. I thought they were very fun. I've always kind of been into NASCARs a bit. So I was really happy to see those in this game. I was like, dang, that's kind of dope. So we're going to have full-on NASCARs in here. Where a lot of games, if you are looking at them, you're probably going to be like, oh, well, if you want to get a NASCAR game, you kind of got to buy it separately. That's kind of why I was really surprised that this game had NASCARs in it, literally as an entire mode by itself. That's pretty dang dope, and I would feel like a lot of people would end up enjoying it. Now, one thing I did used to do in NASCAR Thunder, though, is I kind of used to turn around and wreck most of the other racers. I couldn't have been the only one that did that, right? Now, with that being said, one of the other things I really did like about this game was going to be the special licensing, or like the special part of it, which isn't necessarily going to be a licensing test, but you are going to be able to test out different vehicles in different environments. For example, in the background, you guys are going to see me using the Mercedes, trying to do a small course on the Nürburgring. I actually thought this was going to be pretty dope because you have to do this one. It's also a great way to make money. That was something I was seeing on this game that many people did end up saying, is that making money in Gran Turismo 5 is honestly going to be fairly difficult. Like if you're doing the regular campaign and doing the regular events, I was making like $4, 5, $6,000 for most of them. But in some of these events, though, if you were able to get gold on them in the special part of it, man, I was making like 70,000 per one. And in the NASCAR, I think I made like over 300 grand from getting gold on all of them. So I would say that's probably going to be a big win there. Then you can jump into the other ones. As in many of these, you're probably not going to need a vehicle to do them, so at least you could pretty much jump right in and kind of stack the money and stuff like that, or, have another way to make extra money. So I would say that's going to be a win. In that way, you're also going to be able to stack some money that way instead of trying to make 4 or 5 grand from the other ones. At least that's going to be another way to do it. One of the other events I was doing was going to be in the Volkswagen minibus thing, and this was going to be on the, I think it was the Top Gear, specifically the Top Gear test track for that matter. And this one was going to be a very slow vehicle. Obviously, 4-speed does like 70, 80 miles an hour. So yeah, you're probably not going to be breaking any laws with that thing, am I right? But either way, though, doing that race was going to be fairly interesting. I was having to pass them, and getting in third place would get you like a silver and all that stuff. And I did find myself kind of restarting some of these events like 5, 6, 7, 8 times because I kept messing up, or I would not end up being able to catch the guy in first. So I would say this game is going to have a good challenge part to it. And with me being a brand new Gran Turismo 5 player, I did end up playing GT7, but I have never played any of the other games though. And after playing the 5th game a bit, I kind of want to go back in and try that one as well. Maybe go play Gran Turismo 6 and then jump on 4, 3, and all those as well and kind of mess around and try them out and stuff, as I never got to play them before playing 7 or even 5. Overall, though, I do admit I feel like Gran Turismo 5 is going to be a pretty fun experience. I'm not sure how people in the community of Gran Turismo do take this game, so do let me know in the comments below, guys. Do you guys like this game? Are you a fan of Gran Turismo 5? Which Gran Turismo is going to be your favorite one? I am very new to this franchise, as I literally started on the 7th game, so I skipped all 6 of them. But when I did end up finding a copy of 5, I'm like, you know what, let me try this out. And to my surprise, I do find this game to be very fun. Funnily enough, again, I gotta admit, I don't know why, but for some reason, I really am enjoying the NASCAR part of it. I think they are going to be really entertaining. And it's also very cool to see NASCAR in one of these games that's not going to be like an official NASCAR game, as Gran Turismo 7 doesn't have any NASCARs at all. So I thought that was going to be pretty dope that we were going to see NASCAR tracks and stuff and different things with them. And there's also going to be like, Ford, Camry, and all those are also going to be in the game. So that's pretty dope. And it's going to add on to something else to do in the game as well besides everything else, which I do think a lot of players would be a fan of that. Now, guys, I gotta say this, though. Do let me know your thoughts on Gran Turismo 5 in the comments below. Do you like this game? What are some things you don't? I don't know if I'm going to play through the entire game fully, like, 100 plus hours into it, but I am going to play through more of it and try to get more things unlocked and get my own, like, NASCAR and stuff, and then buy some other cool vehicles and test them out and all that, guys. But do let me know your thoughts on this game. And also, which Gran Turismo, in your opinion, is going to be the best one? I am curious, as we are going to have, 7 of them. And I would say there's actually technically more if we include, like, the prologue one or whatever it is. So, again, guys, let me know which Gran Turismo you think is going to be the best one. And what are your honest thoughts on Gran Turismo 5?